Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't posted a lot, well, I don't generally post a lot anyway, but I thought it would be quite interesting to record the process of making a live 2D model from basically a blank canvas to a sort of finished thing. So here we are. I am not the most confident when it comes to drawing, so I don't usually record or even stream myself drawing anything from scratch because I'm very self-conscious. It's very strange. But here you can see the process of how I do everything, I guess. I basically start sketching, just winging it and hoping for the best, and then I use this program called Design Doll. With regular drawing, it kind of depends on the pose. I'm not a very visual person. Like, I can have an idea in my head, but if I focus on it and try and draw it, it's just like everything disappears. So I really struggle with getting things from my head onto paper. So there's this program that I use called Design Doll, where you can basically pose like a little mannequin in any pose that you want. And I use that as like a reference, either from the beginning or like I did on this model, I overlay it over what I've drawn to see if I'm like close to what it needs to be or if I'm way off, and then I can like tweak things if I need to. So that is what I do for like the full body. This character is very much heavily inspired by childhood nostalgia. So back in the day, they had this kind of obsession with making everything transparent, so you could get see-through computers and gaming consoles, shoes, bags, chairs, like had a lot of inflatable furniture. My sister had like a inflatable chair once. I was so jealous, but there you go. So she's very much inspired by things like that, and like technology like Tamagotchis and like just like fun things, you know. Colorful and fun is basically the concept I went with her. I used a lot of mood boards as well of like things like that as like inspiration too. Oh dear, sorry, I'm not used to talking so much. My voice is going already. I did change her outfit, but because I wasn't such a fan of the crop top thing. Her tail as well, I wanted her to be like a fluffy kind of dragon, but I did try and give her like a very fluffy tail, but it didn't look very reptilian, so I changed it. I apologize for the squeaking in the background. That is my dog playing with her toys. So you can see, like, I go through a few different stages of sketching. So I do like a rough sketch and then a rougher sketch and then a less rough sketch, and then I go over it, and then eventually when I'm happy I'll do line art. And you'll probably see in here as well, I do actually change the line art a lot as well. Yep, there we go. I change the line art a lot, especially with the eyes. I think I redo the eyes 2 or 3 times because, you know, that's the joy of drawing digitally. You can just change things whenever you want. Like, I am absolutely useless with pencil and paper because my paper just ends up with like all these faint lines of everything that I've erased and redrawn again. But yes, I'm still kind of getting used to Clip Studio as well. I'm getting better, I think. I'm not as bad as I used to be. I know where most of the tools are now, and I am getting there. So I redraw things, redraw the hair now, the back of the hair. I don't actually know, this is bad, like I did watch a lot of tutorials for like Live 2D, but I never actually watched any tutorials for how to split your model and like how to cut things up. So I don't actually know like the proper way to do it. So what I do is I figure out as I go what's gonna be like its own layer for movement, and then I will draw like the line art for each separate part. So like the hair is all separate layers for the line art, and then I will color stuff in its own separate layers as well. I really wanted my character to have like a pink kind of hair, so that's what I went with as well. It's very, I've struggled a lot with picking colors as well. You'll probably see in this as well that I use the like hue and saturation thing quite a lot to mess with colors because I don't know what goes together. In real life, I just wear black. I wear black, black, and a little bit of black. That's basically what I wear in real life because I don't know how colors work, man. Okay, it's hard. But I wanted her to be colorful, and I did experiment in the concept with her having like purple hair or blue hair. But pink is what I liked the most, so that is what I went with. I made it a little bit more muted in the end because I wasn't a fan of like the brighter pink. I think I did anyway. I don't remember. I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone what I did when I was doing this. But anyway, here are the horns. So going back to what I said earlier about like see-through things, I wanted her to have some see-through horns with like some things inside. So that's what I'm doing here. I made her top horns kind of semi-transparent with a little bit of gradient near the base, just to give it a bit of interest, you know. And then I put like little shapes inside the horns that I will later mess with in Live 2D so that they will move around on the X and Y parameters, and also I will give them some physics as well, so they will squash and squish, and the stars will have a little bit of a spin to them as well. Here's the neck, which on my last models I always forgot to make separate, so I always had to go back and redo. So there's an improvement already. I remember to do the neck separately. I'm coloring the shirt a really bright color because I wanted the shirt to be a pale color, and I didn't want to miss anything and like coloring and have holes. So I'm doing a darker and brighter colors and then putting lighter colors over the top. The whole reason why I decided to make this model was because I recently played Stray with my friends, and I used my model while I was streaming it for them, and there had these live 2D assets of cat ears that had physics when you moved, and I found them so fun that I just wanted to make a model that had like ears like that. I apologize again for the squeaking. She's dead quiet, and as soon as I start recording, she's like, no, it's squeaky time. Here I am remembering halfway through that you can use the lasso tools to do some nice hair shadows, because I absolutely suck at shading hair. I don't know how to do it. But I think the lasso tool is quite fun. It looks okay as well, so. I also haven't got the whole recording of everything. I mean, if I did, this would literally take hours, but I also I have to leave my computer a few times because obviously you can hear dog. I take my dog out, or like I go and make myself a drink, or I go and cook food. I need like bathroom breaks, and then I come back and I've forgotten to hit record again on OBS. So there are some bits missing, both in the drawing process and also the rigging process as well. I will like just be working and then I'll like look and like, oh god, I forgot to hit record. Live 2D also has that issue with physics as well, because my OBS doesn't pick up the physics window, so I have to trigger it manually, and I often forgot to do that, so I haven't got most of the physics settings on here, but I mean it goes so fast you can't really see what's happening anyway. And half the time when I did have physics recording, if I didn't switch off the window, the giant like save thing would cover the screen, or like the name of the parameters would just be huge in the middle of the screen and not go away. So I lost a big chunk of rigging because I had like a physics window, not physics window, but like the name. I think it was horns. Yeah, it was the horns. I don't have the recording of doing the horns because in the whole recording of that process is just like a big HPX1 in the middle of the screen, and it's so annoying. But never mind. So here's the tail. I think I mentioned the tail earlier. I don't know, I'm just yapping, man. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I made it fluffy on the bottom and then like more scaly looking on the top, just with like some patterns on there just to make it look more reptilian, because she's supposed to be kind of like a fluffy dragon. I also put a texture over the top to make it look fluffy. Oh, and now we are on to the rigging. Very nice. So here I am putting everything where it needs to be and clipping it to stuff. So I'm clipping like the shadows and all of the parts inside the horn to the horn mask, so that when she's moving it's not gonna pop outside of the horns and it's gonna stay in there. Same with the eyes and the tail, because the tail has like little things as well. I will be going through hiding all of the little toggles and stuff for her jacket as well. Doing the head first for the Z-axis on there. I'm doing the neck as well. Hooray, I didn't have to go back into Clip Studio and make the neck separate and re-import it for once. This is my third model. I'm saying that technically it's my fourth model, but it's my third like humanoid model. And I tried to do most of it without any help. I did still use quite a few tutorials while I was going through, but I did do a majority of it, well, more of it myself than my previous ones. So I am learning slowly, but because of that, I did also make some pretty dumb mistakes as well, which we will see later on. eye movement. This is all on, I think, 2000 times speed, by the way. I tried to make this video as short as possible because I knew it was going to be like hours long. But also I thought it, you know, it's interesting to watch how things are made, I think. I enjoy it anyway, so. And there's eye physics, very nice, jiggly eyes. Eyes are great in Live 2D. They're one of my favorite parts. Like, I just love like the movement in the eye with the blinking. I think it's really cool. I'm doing some movement to the eyelashes as well. So when she blinks, her eyelashes will jiggle too, which is pretty cute. One thing I didn't do is move the eyelid. Maybe I should move the eyelid. I can always go back and do that later. I'm doing the little hair dangles now. Just so that when the head moves, the hair is moving too. Oh, I think at this point as well, I'd already made the huge mistake. I very stupidly, somehow, some way, some reason, I don't know, brain fart moment maybe, but I did the head angles, X and Y angles, on blend shapes, which means that I couldn't synthesize corners or anything, and in the physics it got very confused, and instead of looking left and right, it just kept looking up into the corner or down into the corner instead, which was very annoying. Yeah, I noticed that when I was in the physics window, and then the next day I redid all of the angles for the face, which was great. I'm very annoyed with myself because I hate this part. I find it very hard to make the angles look good. I think I did better on this model than my previous models. I am quite proud of how it turned out in the end. But yeah, it's a bit of a tedious task is head angles, I think. Making sure everything looks like 3D and looks good. I give a little circle eyebrows. I think they're kind of harder to be as expressive, but I just think they fit her better than regular eyebrows. The nose as well, make sure that it has some kind of movement going on the side so it doesn't look like it's just plastered to her face. Very good, very good. And also moving the horns. And the ears, so that they don't stretch as much. I did my best. It's not perfect. Yeah, head X and Y takes forever. And I'm a very impatient person, so that's why I don't like it. Like somehow like the eyes take quite a long time as well, but I'm fine with the eyes. But it's just like head X and Y. I don't find it fun. I do actually mess up with head X and Y again as well. Because I'm doing them on separate parameters to add some physics to the X and Y to make it a bit bouncy, I do have to set that up in the physics settings so that the X and Y movement is triggered when the head turns left and right and up and down. And for some reason I put I think angle X to trigger a bit for Y, which obviously you don't want to do. If you want to look up and down, you don't want to be looking to the side at the same time. Yeah, I don't realize that until I'm actually setting up things in Live 2D. And I'm like, why can't I look up and down? Why am I looking up to the side or down to the corner? Yeah, I fixed that eventually as well. Keep moving the hair on the Z axis. Because if you move your head to the side, your hair does not stay sticking out as if it's made of plastic. It will go to the side that you're facing. Okay, ears. I'm attempting ear physics now. I have never done floppy ears before or any kind of ear physics. I have my my Crow model. She has like flappy wings for ears, but this has a few more parts to it, and I wanted them to be like kind of wavy and floppy. So I was very excited to try this. I could probably have done it better, but I can always go back and redo some stuff if I need to. Oh, we're on the horns now. It must have been something else that messed up with the physics window then. Okay, here I am doing the horns, the movements for the horns. So when they go up when she looks down because they're bouncing around in there. I redid these a couple of times because I didn't do enough differentiation between the parts inside. So when she was like looking left and right, they was kind of like moving as a huge blob instead of individual pieces. So it didn't look that great, so I redid that so that everything moved a little bit differently at different rates. Okay, time for body movement. This is my first time trying the skinning for arms. I think it turned out pretty good. It did take a few trial and errors to get it to work though. I put the rotation deformers too far out, so they weren't like attaching where they needed to be. So she had like floating arms for a minute. It was very, very scary, but we got there. I just think it's so interesting that like a 2D image can like move around like that. That's really cool. I don't know, I'm just watching like the body XY. I'm like, wow, this is a flat image, but it's moving. Amazing. So on the Y axis, I wanted her to look like she was bending down. Originally I wanted her arms to go in front, so like she was leaning down with like her hands on her knees. but it didn't look as good as I wanted it to. I thought it looked quite cute with her hands behind her back instead. I also forgot to draw the different hands for her hands on her knees. I will have to draw her different hands eventually as well, because I want to make like a waving animation. I have recently gone back and edited her jacket so that when her jacket is activated, her arms do go in front of her body, but when they're not, they go behind. Oh hey look, I managed to actually capture a physics window. So like testing some movement. I'm setting up the jacket in there, I think. The physics for the jacket. And doing some little hip sway movement. So I'm watching this, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I have no idea. Oh, now I'm doing physics for clothes. Nice. So I'm adding some wibble wobble to the socks. And also the tongue of the trainers. Ah, now I'm doing the sleeves physics. What the heck physics was I doing before then? Oh god, I don't know. It's like watching another person right now. Someone who knows what they're doing. I ended up hiding the arms underneath the sleeves because I couldn't put skinning on the sleeves. I'm doing the arm skinning at the minute. This is where I had issues because I put the rotation deformers on the wrong part. I think this is where I fixed it though. Yeah, I cut out a lot of the dumb stuff that I did, or else this video would be like 700 hours long. I'm doing the uppy sleeves. I love the uppy sleeves. They're really cute. I do have some more toggles that I need to make. I actually made this model in quite a rush because as of recording, it's Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail's release day. And I wanted to get the model finished before then. And hopefully I'll get the video finished today too, or else I'm gonna be gone no-lifing the games. So I haven't done everything that I wanted on the model, and I actually realized I forgot some things as well. She is supposed to have like a little bag that is cassette shaped. So I will make that for her eventually, and then maybe I'll have some toggles for the bag as well, with like stuff coming out of the bag. That would be quite cute. I also need to give her her gaming toggle as well. Instead of a controller, I'm gonna give her, like I mentioned before, like one of those transparent Game Boys or something instead to play on. I might also give her like a little Tamagotchi on her bag as well. Making the sleeves wibble wobble. I love physics. Physics are my favorite part of Live 2D, just making things jiggle. Like, I'm not good at animation at all. I tried to make an idle animation for her ears. Man, I could not do that. I tried like 3 times. It just looks weird, so I'll keep trying with that because I think it would be cute to have like idle ear flick animation. And doing her eyes right now, as you can see. This is my first model with eye toggles. So I wanted her to have confused eyes and like excited starry eyes. The confused eyes I wanted to spin, but as with my other model, the spinning did not work in my favor, so I just added some physics to them instead so they jiggle a little bit, just to add a little bit of movement to those. The stars as well, I added some movement on the breathing so that they like move a little bit, like they expand and squish. I also have this like shadow as well. I might make a toggle just for the shadow, but I thought it fit quite well with the confused eyes. Me when math. Here I am doing the tail physics. It's not something that will ever be seen, but it's there. I've redone the tail about 2 or 3 times, and I might redo it again. Like, this is my first time doing a tail as well, so I'm not really sure what I'm doing. The first one looked horrible. The one I have now is okay, but the end of the tail does deform a little bit, so I need to look at that. Now we're on to my least favorite part, which is the mouth. The mouth always gives me so many issues, so I saved it until last. I'm even procrastinating here and doing more toggles because I don't want to do the mouth. Like, I'll do the blush toggle right now. I'll do the blush toggle. Alas, we cannot escape the mouth forever. So I was following a chart, a mouth chart, which always confused me because I don't really know which part's supposed to be which, you know? Which parts go on mouth form, which parts go on mouth open, I don't know. I guessed, and it worked, so, you know, in the end, all is well. The mouth actually didn't give me as much trouble as it usually does. I had a lot of trouble with the bottom teeth in the end, but the actual mouth, I didn't have any issues with like the mouth back sticking out, which I always did on my previous models. My previous models, like, you'd like turn to the side and like the back of the mouth would be sticking out and weird clipping issues, which is what I'm always dreading when I'm doing mouths, but this one actually behaved for me, which I'm very happy about, other than the bottom teeth, which when I was setting up things in Live 2D, like I was talking and the teeth were just floating around in there and I was like, what the hell is going on here? There's also like a tiny bit of skin sticking up from the bottom lip, which is annoying, but the teeth cover it most of the time. I don't care, it's whatever, man. I'm too lazy. Her mouth is looking quite high when she's smiling, so eventually, not in this video, I think. No, I did it this morning. Or was it last night? I don't know. But eventually I do move her mouth down a little bit so it's not so high up. I will also be putting her nose on some of the keyframes as well, so her nose will move with her mouth. Her eyes do as well, I think. And now doing the angles on the inner mouth. I hate mouth corners. They always look so dumb when I do them. I don't understand how people can make mouths look good. I mean, the front's fine. It's just like the corners. It's weird. I don't know. Now I'm onto the fun mouth things. The Vtuber mouths. So I'm doing mouth X and yeah, not mouth X and Y. It's just mouth X. So when you move your mouth to this side, she does too. I thought it'd be cute to move the ears up and down on this one as well. And then we're doing the lip press mouth open, which on this model is probably my favorite. It makes her so expressive, like the faces she can pull just because of that one thing is hilarious. Mouth pucker gave me a lot of issues. You'll probably see later on in the settings, but I think that was on Vtuber's side because I had the settings in there too high. It was basically when I was puckering, like my whole mouth was just squishing into nothing. And like everything was clipping out of the mouth, which was not good. One thing though is that I can't actually do mouth pucker. Like the mouth is always a little bit open. I don't know how to fix that, but it's not like I'm like making kissy faces all that often, so it's fine, it's fine. Oh, and here we are, setting up all of our outputs, which is something that still very much confuses me. I try my best. I did actually end up watching a video for the mouth because the mouth was not doing it. Like I spent all that time on that mouth and it was literally only doing like 2 of the mouth forms. I was like, excuse me, I did not spend hours just for only 2 mouth forms to show thank you very much. So I did fix that eventually. So here I'm noticing the issue with left and right. As you can see, she's just like looking up to the corner when I look up instead of looking straight up. So I'm like, huh, I'll have a look at that in a minute and I'll fix that. And here I am doing the V-bridger part. As you can see, I was very amused by the cheek puff. A mouth shrug was triggering cheek puff, so I do go and edit cheek puff a little bit to make it a bit harder to trigger. Setting up all the parameters is one of my favorite parts. Just like seeing everything come together and seeing the model come to life is really fun. I had fun music playing while I was doing this as well, so if you see her like wiggling up and down and swaying left and right, it's because I'm dancing, man. I was vibing. Oh, you got the dreaded mouth pucker. I do delete this. Yeah, you can see it's like, what the hell? Clipping a little bit there. I do delete it, but I added it back yesterday evening. And I just edited the stuff in VBridger, so it works fine now. I still can't actually pucker my lips, but... Oh, here I am fixing stuff. Going back and doing some bug fixes. So I think I fixed the teeth floating issue. I also... Oh, here I'm looking at... Why is she not looking up and down? And then I fixed that, so... Doing some more stuff here. What am I doing now? Oh, tongue! I remembered I hadn't done the tongue, and I had not done the booba physics either, so I went back and did those. And now I'm doing my toggles. Setting up the expressions, and then setting up the toggles. And then we are done, so thank you very much for watching. Here is my motto.
Bye.